There was this warrior once. Name was Kakeshi. You need to understand, this guy was legendary. Villages knew his name. Other warriors feared him. When he walked into a room, people got quiet. That kind of presence. He was unbeatable in combat. Seriously. Sword, spear, bare hands, didn't matter. He'd won hundreds of duels, fought in dozens of wars. His body was a weapon he'd spent his whole life perfecting. Every morning, training. Every afternoon, sparring. Every evening, studying combat scrolls. But here's the thing about Kakeshi. He was angry all the time. Not just in battle, that's expected, but everywhere, at everyone. A servant would bring his tea slightly cool. Rage. Someone would look at him wrong in the marketplace. Fury. Another warrior would challenge him. He wouldn't just defeat them, he'd humiliate them. People respected him, but nobody actually liked him. One day, he was passing through this small mountain village, and he heard about a Zen master living in a temple nearby. Old guy, very wise. People came from all over to learn from him. Kakeshi was curious, or maybe bored, so he went up there. The temple was simple, peaceful, cherry blossoms in the courtyard. The master was sitting on the steps, probably 70 years old, thin as a reed, just sitting there, smiling at nothing in particular. Kakeshi stood before him, arms crossed. "I hear you teach wisdom," he said. Not asked, said. The old master looked up slowly. "I try. I am the greatest warrior in this land," Kakeshi announced. "My body is a fortress. My skill is unmatched." "I can see that," the master said gently. Kakeshi waited for more. Nothing came. The old man just sat there. Finally, the master spoke. "But tell me, have you trained your mind as you've trained your body?" Kakeshi frowned. "My mind is sharp. I calculate every move in battle." "That is strategy," the master said. "I speak of peace, of stillness, of the anger I see burning in your eyes, even now, when no battle is near." For a moment, something flickered in Takeshi's face, like the old man had seen straight through him. But then he laughed, a hard, dismissive laugh. "I will learn wisdom when my battles are done," he said. "Right now, I have wars to win, enemies to defeat. When I retire, when I'm old and have nothing else to do, then I'll come learn about peace and stillness and all that." The master nodded. "The gate will be open." Kakeshi left. Didn't think about that conversation again for years. And those years, they passed the way years do. More battles, more victories, more scars. Takeshi's reputation grew even larger. But something else was happening too. His body was getting older. 30 became 40. 40 became 50. The wars became fewer. Younger warriors were rising up, faster, hungrier. Kakeshi won his fights, but they got harder. Recovery took longer. Then one day, in a duel with a young challenger, Kakeshi won. But barely. His shoulder got injured, bad, never quite healed right after that. That was when he realized it was ending. The battles, the glory, the strength he'd built his whole life on, it was all fading, and he was alone. No family, no close friends, just a reputation and a collection of weapons and scars. He'd spent so much time perfecting his body, defeating his enemies, proving his strength. And for what? He sat in his empty house one night, and the silence was deafening. The anger was still there, but now it had nowhere to go, no outlet. It just sat in his chest, heavy and cold. He thought about the Zen master, that conversation from decades ago. Train your mind as you train your body. I will learn wisdom when my battles are done. Well, the battles were done now. So Takeshi traveled back to that mountain village. His body was older now, slower. The walk that had once been easy left him winded. The temple was still there. The master was still there too, ancient now, must have been 90, but alive. Still sitting on those same steps. Takeshi approached, and this time he didn't stand tall and proud. He bowed, low. "Master," he said, and his voice cracked slightly. "I have come to learn. Please, teach me." The old master studied him for a long moment. Then he stood, slowly, with effort, and went inside. He came back holding a broom. He handed it to Takeshi. "Begin by sweeping the courtyard," he said. Takeshi stared at the broom, then at the master, then back at the broom. "Sweeping?" "Yes. I came to learn wisdom, meditation, how to find peace." "Begin by sweeping," the master repeated. Takeshi felt that old anger rising. This was ridiculous. He was one of the greatest warriors in the land, and this old man wanted him to sweep like a common servant? But then he looked at the master's face, calm, patient, no judgment, no mockery. And Takeshi realized he had nowhere else to go. "Am I not," he hesitated, "am I not too late?" The master's expression softened. "You are late only if you refuse to begin." Takeshi took the broom. He swept. At first, it was humiliating. His mind raged. "This is pointless. I should be learning something profound. I'm wasting time. I'm too old for this." But the master made him sweep every day. Just sweep. Nothing else. Slowly, very slowly, something started to change. The repetitive motion, the simplicity of it. There was no enemy to defeat, no battle to win, just leaves and dust and the sound of the broom on stone. His mind started to quiet. Weeks became months. The master gave him other simple tasks: washing dishes, tending the garden, sitting in silence. No profound lectures, no secret techniques, just simple work, simple presence. And Takeshi began to notice things he'd never noticed before. The way morning light hit the cherry blossoms, the sound of wind through bamboo, the feeling of his own breath moving in and out. The anger, that rage that had defined him for so long, it started to lift. Not all at once, but piece by piece, like armor being removed. One morning, maybe a year after he'd arrived, Takeshi was sweeping the courtyard and he realized something. His heart felt light. Lighter than it had ever felt, even in his greatest victories. Lighter than his sword had ever been. He stopped sweeping and just stood there, tears running down his weathered face. The master was watching from the steps. "Am I doing it right?" Takeshi asked. The master smiled. "You are doing it now. That is enough." Takeshi lived at the temple for the rest of his years. Not long, maybe 5 more. But they were the most peaceful years of his life. When he died, they buried him there in the temple grounds. No sword, no armor, just a broom placed beside the stone. Look, it's never too late to start the work that actually matters. You might have spent your whole life chasing the wrong things. Power, glory, revenge, whatever. You might feel like you've wasted decades. But here's the truth. You're only too late if you refuse to begin. The moment you pick up that broom, the moment you take that first real step toward changing, that's when your real life starts. Better late than never isn't just a saying, it's a second chance.